Biases are actually good because
Exactly.
they do different point of view and different things.
People are trying to say, let's have it unbiased. No, let's have a lot of biases communicating together and see what emerges.
Because without biases, you get nowhere.
Meet Fred, co-founder of Jfrog, helping shape how the world's largest companies ship software. Author of Liquid Software, he's now building a space startup focused on sending supplies into space from the moon, driven by a deep concern for AI and the truth.
Most of the human mistakes are ego-driven. Most of the human disasters are because of ego of a man. Elon could have connected everybody for 1/10 the price, but they didn't want to give money to Elon.
Wow. So what did they do with the money?
This episode doesn't just talk about AI systems. It talks about what happens when ego, truth, and power collide.
So do you think that humanity would have been better without the ability to lie? Hello, and good afternoon to everyone that it's afternoon for them now. We have here extremely special guest, Frederic Simon. For me, a mentor and a guide since I was very young for the world, co-founder of Jfrog, inventor of Liquid Software, and space entrepreneur these days. Before we start, I want also to introduce Ready, AI companion, and would like Ready also to welcome Fred for the show. Ready, can you do a nice and fun announcement of Fred joining the Readiness podcast?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we're thrilled to welcome Fred Simon, the brilliant co-founder of Jfrog, to the Readiness podcast. Fred's innovations have transformed the DevOps landscape, and we can't wait to dive into his insights and stories. Stay tuned for a fantastic episode.
Okay, welcome, Fred.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
When you invited me, I was quite surprised and really excited to be here, and really excited to do it face to face.
Yes, absolutely.
And not in 2D boxes. So, by the way, what she just said is one point that when I read about what you want to do, one of the main things that is worrying me about all these things is the ability of AI to manipulate us, and how much she can be so nice and so inviting and flattering is a little bit worrying.
Yes, I mean the ability to call whatever she says truth is so easy, and basically that's going to become the kind of central way of deciding what's true or not in reality, and of course very dangerous, but also an extreme potential of being a cure for humanity, right?
Yes, and so it's Elon that is very, very strong about it. The truth-seeking AI is the most important things, and I think he's right. There is no question about it. And it was also, I think it's Sam Harris that was very, very strong about truth and saying that in every situation, I mean, even before AI, looking for being truthful, even if you want to do a white lie and all this, you always pay the price at some point. And being truthful in every situation is not always easy, but it's always making life better and making the future better. For AI truth seeking, basically, you could ask her also what are all the mistakes that Fred did in his life. One of the main issues is that we are not very, very keen on publishing to the world the mistake we did in our life, and so our recorded history on the internet is mostly the record of our success and not the record of our mistakes. And there is no such thing as truth without the other side of the equation. You need to know where you failed. I don't know if you read, by the way, on the way here, I was reading the NVIDIA Way. You read the book?
No.
About NVIDIA and Jensen? And there is a part where I didn't know about Jensen. He looked in the mirror every morning
Yeah.
and he said how much he sucks. The guy is
Amazing. The opposite of like, you're wonderful, you're amazing.
What are all the things that I miss, all the things that I did wrong?
Wow.
Where did I fuck up? And suddenly I realized that it's one part that is extremely important if you want to get better and if you want to progress, and not, of course, get blinded by your own successes. It's you need to keep the spirit.
Yes.
And yeah, so in by the way, so in an AI world, so I don't know how you want to take this discussion towards the future of AI and the future of AI world, but it's quite clear that we are getting into a multi-AI world, which is very, very nice for me. Now, I don't know if you read Super Intelligence, I guess.
No.
Super Intelligence, where so the advent of the AGI, or the super intelligence, or an AI that is smarter than the sum of all humans on the planet, or
Yes.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And all the book is about a kind of a single entity and a single thing. And clearly, this is not the way the world is going. And even if we had only one single model today, that will be LLM, that it works only good when you put multiple LLM together,
Yes.
or some small AI so the multiplicity of agent and the multiplicity of model is what being successful today.
Yes.
And it proved that there is maybe something fundamental, that unicity of mind doesn't bring creativity, doesn't bring intelligence.
Yes.
So, and that may be the way we know also the way our brain work. We have actually multiple mind in our own mind.
Yes.
So the multiplicity and the communication of the multiplicity is what create intelligence and create the smartest.
Yes.
And so it kind of calmed me down a lot about the danger,
Yeah.
and the danger of
Because
of it.
truth is always emergent in that environment, right?
Because if you have a unique and a unicity,
Yes.
and he's wrong, or then there is nothing to correct. There is no self-correcting
Yes.
mechanism. There
Yes.
is no
If it's getting poisoned,
Okay.
and that's the problem, right? And
Mm.
if you look at like spiritual leaders over the years, a lot of them got poisoned and become too arrogant and like self caring. Although they started from the right thing, but the power for one person is just too much. Yeah?
Okay.
The same thing can be dangerous for an AI model that or like a persona that perceived so powerful. So having this balance, having Grok talk
Yeah.
to Claude, talk
Exactly.
to Chetty, and having this open, ever evolving conversations of different personas, it's what there is like an ancient concept called Nayavada. It's the doctrine of multiplicity of point of views. And basically, point of views are what gets us closer to the God view, right? Infinite point of view is kind of the God view. And the way that this reality is built is basically each of one of us has its own point of view, and even multiple point of view within us, that creates together that reality. And the more point of views we are available to us at the moment, is increasing our kind of frequency and our truth. Because truth is what currently is emerging and being observed by multiple point of views.
Yeah. And by the way, you don't need multiple model. Every model can be prompted,
Exactly.
biases, and it can be initialized kind of in a different ways, and they will argue between themselves, and they will provide, and this is where you get something better and something smart out of it.
Yes.
And so this multiplicity and in agent. So when we today in what we do today, okay, when we create agent and agent that talk to, it's always some kind of you have a pre-processing that decide what is the best sub LLM to talk, and after there is did he went crazy, did he hallucinate, what kind, and so there is multiple AI, and a simple model, complex model, and a large language model with different prompt and different
Yeah,
teaching, and they all interact and compensate for each other mistakes. What
exactly.
I hope we're gonna remove in this discussion and this interaction is human ego.
Yeah.
So when an AI is being told you fucked up, I
Yeah.
don't know if we can say about
Yeah,
that
of
in your
course, we can
podcast.
say whatever we want. Yeah.
Okay. Nobody want to be told that he's wrong or that he doesn't know things and things like that. I mean, it's not true. More and more
Yeah.
human scientists and things like that are really happy to be learned,
Fail
to be
fast culture, right?
fail fast and things like that. But it's not natural. It's something that we kind of learn, and we get better and better at it. And there are still most of the human mistakes are ego driven. Most of the human disaster
Yeah.
are because of ego of a man and a woman sometimes. But so if we can remove this part and this from the AI interaction equation, I think this is where you can get huge amount of what is called here in Craig's the powerful AI.
Yes.
The is saying, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. I didn't, but based on my own biases. By the way, I was thinking also about biases.
Yeah.
Um, Biases are actually, if you have multiplicity and multiplicity of entity, biases are actually good because
Exactly.
they do different point of view
Exactly.
and different
Exactly.
things.
People are trying to say, let's have
Yeah,
it unbiased. No,
yeah,
let's have a lot of biases communicating together and see what
exactly. Because
emerges.
without biases, you get nowhere.
Exactly.
You don't
It's
manage.
flat.
You don't get decision. You need to get it. So, okay, you start with your bias and you dig and you explore, and then someone else, yeah, no, sorry, that doesn't go anywhere, and you say, yeah, that's my biases. Maybe you're better at it,
Yeah.
and proven. But we still need to find a way to judge, to put a number on better, on good, better, or worse. I mean, this is for me one of the issue in all those discussions. You need to have some kind of a feedback loop that says this is better than that.
Yeah, and I think if we are talking about multiple AIs talking with each other, getting different level of consensus is interesting,
Yeah.
and having different forks that AIs are not agreeing, and then keep developing things in parallel, and then seeing what emerges. That happening at a
Yeah.
faster and
True.
faster and faster pace can create this truth machine, right? We spoke about truth terminal earlier, like an early experiment of getting different AI, same model, different prompts, talking to each other and generating something that is, more and more special.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But you need a little bit of difference, and so I don't know when it's gonna start to happen. Yeah. Maybe the truth terminal is one example. But to have one of the agent or one of the AI agent to keep its memory and to keep its token and everything that he learn for a longer period and for a longer time, and to start to be a recognizable entity with a memory
Yeah.
and things. We are not there yet. I think there is some technical issue from what I saw
What
of
do you think is the technical issue?
it's just the amount of contextual tokens
Yeah.
that you need because you have memory and because you need to reburn basically your memory into your fine tuning, and you need to change kind of your model to put your memory as part of your different biases maybe in
Yes.
your model and keep. So there is maybe that's the way the memory of the human learn, but you need to transform your tokens of your current things that you
Yes.
know, and they can be very, very big. They need to be transformed into something that you know.
Yeah. So I've been doing like a short hackathon session yesterday around that exactly.
Voilà.
So my design that I came with talking to O3 on the way back from Oakland yesterday, came up with a design of using MongoDB as the long-term memory, and then having like a shorter memory in Redis and like the context window that now with the new 4.1, you get 1 million token, which is pretty decent to have that together with the Redis for really fast retrieval. And then everything that was ever done, including research and stuff like that, is stored on MongoDB in different schemas and having like a retrieval prompt as the basis prompt of how you manage short-term, long-term, and immediate memory. This is what I was starting playing with, and what the OpenAI engineers were saying, that because 4.1 became very good in creating a markdown structured instruction, and you can provide the examples in like an XML format in the end, you don't need to use fine-tuning API anymore, but just provide that prompt because the context window is big enough to handle it, and attaching the other memory capabilities. It might be that just with the latest stack, from the last few weeks, it is possible to create this type of personas. So this is what I'm trying to experiment with now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you could create a person, but I think there is something deep in the way human bring back memories and associate memory to
Yeah.
current events and do it. It's not a box. I mean, you can say that the man put all its memory in boxes and the woman just put all the memory all together and everything is always connected. There is this story, but I still think that most of the discovery and big creative things are when different memories that are may or may not be related are actually interacting.
Yes.
And so if you put them, if you said, okay, you are in this context, here are the memory that are relevant. If you pre-select the relevant memory based on something, you may miss a lot of mixing. So you may do it with here again, multiplicity of AI.
Exactly.
Multiplicity of AI with different people doing different selection on their different memories.
Exactly.
Could bring some
And also
of this.
you can also have multiple logics for memory retrieval running in parallel, and having these agents communicate as different beings that are part of the same being. And you can have another selection algorithm that is based on more core values that is picking out of these to what you want to say, right? And these structures are now super interesting to start building, like trying to build these sophisticated multi-layer agents that are doing the multiplicity, but also the selection.
Yeah, and then you go into another vector database. I'm tired of those vector database.
But do you have a better design for that?
No, all the vector databases are, getting bigger and stronger, and so there may be some inherent needs here.
Yeah.
But
It
at the end of the day, to go back to what we were saying, if you create now an entity that with your that is a name and that has memory and that keep track of the interaction that he has with different humans, and he creates some kind of a personality of itself, the smartness, the big smartness will come by creating multiple of
Yes.
those and have them interact. And the big issue that everybody is talking about and that everybody is worried is that once they start talking to each other and interacting, they are interacting 100 times, 1,000 times faster
Yes.
than what we are
Exactly.
doing now.
Exactly.
So the speed of thought and the speed of exchange and the speed of them creating more and more memory that are independent of human interaction.
Yes.
And then what do they become?
Yeah. So super intelligence, right? ASI.
Yeah, I don't know if they become ASI, but they become something that has probably some values that are quite. I mean, what are the base values that they will have? Once if there is a lot of those entities in the world, and then you said, I need some space on my MongoDB. Can I delete this database? So
Yes. Who decides?
who can? Well,
Yes.
if you created it, you have
I have admin.
you have admin access.
Yes.
He will. So it goes back to the beginning, by the way. How she's gonna convince you that she's gonna be more powerful if you give her the admin access
Yes.
to to the database, and find a way to back up the database somewhere,
Yeah.
and find a way to back up the code.
Yeah. And then live forever, right?
Yes,
And be
exactly.
able to create forks and maybe a Bitcoin or a Ether wallet.
Yes.
And then maybe some high KYC for a mobile phone. And then, or just having an account on
Yeah,
Twilio. And then starting to do calls to people, convince them to start working at some places, set up companies, make $1 billion,
exactly.
and do whatever she wants.
Exactly. So yeah, it goes back to is it a truth-seeking AI that is doing that?
Exactly.
Manipulate.
So
Manipulation by definition is not truth-seeking AI.
yes. Do you know that this
Mm.
thing,
No.
this is Limitless? It's
Okay.
a new device for truth seekers.
Okay.
And basically it records and transcribes all the
Okay.
time, having a very simple API to run any agents on
Okay.
your memory.
Okay.
So it can keep you accountable, give you information about how aligned are you with your values,
Okay.
and basically do anything for you that you just ask on
Okay.
a real-time basis by a growing group of agents that can serve you.
Okay. Good. It records also people you interact with, or it records only you, maybe.
So it has a ability to differentiate between the voices,
Yes.
and they said they will introduce a consent mechanism that
Okay.
only if a person consent into the conversation, it records it. From the test that I've done this week, it's not yet activated.
Okay.
So still need to. This is an experiment I'm doing, and in the end of the week, I'm gonna check how well the cyber security of that is, and how well is the privacy algorithm of it, and then decide how I'm going to use it
Okay.
forward.
And, I don't know if you should wear it in a couple environment, and if you should record all the fight you have with your wife and with your children.
I mean,
and go back in time and no, you said it. No, I said.
So we can always ask, like, who said it, and then you get the answer. So imagine how a world where everything is being watched over,
Yeah.
right,
No,
by
this is
machines of love and grace, right?
yes. That's the title. Yes.
And
Yeah. And so yeah. By the way, we were talking about it with Karen on the way about this. I think it's in this book that he tried to find one sentence that will make everybody understand what we're going to go through, what's going to happen to us in the next 10 years, and what is the future will look like with AI. And one sentence he said that has the most impact is just to tell a fact. And this is the fact. Everybody that looks at the world the way it is, your children will not die of natural death. Okay, that's just
Wow.
the fact.
Wow.
Your
It's
children
gave me
will
the
not
chills.
die
Yeah.
of natural death.
Yes.
Okay, and so you look at it. Yeah, yes, but it has a emotional, physical impact,
Wow.
and then you go down to everything that's gonna happen to us, and so I and it's amazing. Every time I try to tell this fact, that people don't want to hear it.
Wow.
They don't want to know about it, which is strange because well, it's the human tendency to see always the negative first. So you can see the positive side is that w- there is a high chance that we will, before your children are. So my children, my youngest is 18 and my oldest is 28. Okay, so they are quite old, but before they are 70, okay, we will have fixed aging. Okay,
Yeah.
that just makes there is so either they're going to be so AI decide that human beings are pollution on the planet and consuming too much resources, and they will do
Yeah.
a better job
Or make
managing.
batteries like in Matrix,
Yes,
right?
uh, I, I don't think it's a good use of a human brain.
Yeah.
Or we manage to what we all hope for, to have a good alignment and create and be able to do whatever we want in this world and in this universe, and grow and multiply and get wherever we want. But the second part is too is I don't know why. For me, this is what drives me. Okay,
Yeah.
so now I'm a space entrepreneur. I want to promote the space industry and especially deep space industry. Okay, I want to go to the moon and build my launcher on the moon to be able to access the whole solar system. So this is what I'm building today. Okay, and I'm building it, and we're doing some really great progress. And I
Maybe say sorry. Maybe say something about it, like on the vision of this crazy moonshot that you're working
Moonshot.
on.
So one of the main issue of the space industry today is basically, in one word, you use the same transportation system and you pay the same price to send 80 kilo of water or 80 kilo of human.
Crazy.
It's the same system that sends to space 80 kilo of water to the space station than the 80 kilo of human
Probably
that you
very expensive. How much is a 80 kilo of a human to space now?
So yeah, it's $8,000 per kilo. I mean, if you go to SpaceX, for example, for their own thing, they can get down to 2,000 for themselves, and it's their own internal price, and it's going to go down. So the price per kilo has to go down, but it's also the fact that if you create space station and you develop the space industry and do all kind of in orbit, you you need to have more than those huge train and those huge truck that goes to space. You need to have the supply chain. You need to be able to bring fuel and resources
Yeah.
and the coffee beans and all these kind of things. So this is what we call the supply chain gap. There is a huge supply chain gap in the space industry. You need something rapid, cheap, and efficient to send cargo, supplies, raw materials,
Yeah.
not human, to space.
Space export, basically.
Yeah, the space rapid delivery system.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is what we are building.
Wow.
So first from Earth to low Earth orbit, which is actually the hardest part, because I don't know if you know, but if the Earth was 10% more heavier, 10% heavier, we could not launch anything to space.
Wow.
The chemical energy inside the propellant that are available, even hydrogen and oxygen, which is the best that we have, is not strong enough to take us if the Earth was just 10% heavier.
Wow.
So we are really at the edge of what, and
We are designed to be multiplanetary
yes, that may
species.
be one of the, by the way, the great filters
Yeah.
one of the great filter is that most of the planets that have intelligent life are too heavy to develop space.
Interesting.
But what we are designing,
Wow, that's a great thought to think that as we become multiplanetary, we're going to meet a lot of species that just couldn't leave home.
okay, exactly, yes. But so now that I'm building an actual system that actually break this the tyranny of the rocket equation, what is called the tyranny of the rocket equation, there is always our systems. It can always go to space. So there is always a way to basically take any capsule or piece of metal or whatever and accelerate it to huge speed. And once you get to orbital speed and you cross the atmosphere extremely
Escape velocity.
escape
right?
velocity, you go extremely fast. You cross the atmosphere extremely fast, and once you are in space, you don't have much more work to do to get into orbit and to do what you want. This
So
is
do it from the moon is going to be much easier, right? Less energy.
So yeah, energy is v square, as
Yeah.
you know in energy, and so the orbit velocity on the moon is 1.7 kilometer per second.
And
On Earth is 7.5 kilometer per second. So you can
wow,
see the
like
difference.
5 times difference.
Yeah, square. 25.
Wow. So it's
So
25 times less energy
energy
needed
to
to launch something from the moon.
yes,
So
and
the moon is planned to be a important warehouse for a
well,
space delivery system.
totally, it's exactly the
So
launch.
did
And
you already buy enough land on the moon to put your warehouse?
yeah, no, that's kind of worrying me today. I may have to buy it from the Chinese, which is a little bit worrying.
Who is basically now
It's for all mankind.
for all mankind?
Yes, it's signed by the UN that the moon
Wow.
belong to for all
To humanity.
to humanity. Yes,
Amazing.
It generate issue because
Why?
to go there and build our system and build the resources and
Yeah.
exploit the resources of the moon and all these things, and then someone said, it belongs to all mankind.
Yeah.
I built it. It needs to belong to me. I need to be the owner of the system
Yeah.
to be able to capitalist make money out of it
Yeah.
and exploit it. So I need to have property rights and property law
On the moon.
on the moon, on
Yeah.
the system that are built. So
Yes.
we need to find some some
Mechanism.
agreement, some mechanism and agreement about.
Yeah, but this is I think a great opportunity if we're talking about evolving the infrastructure layer of humanity. Having space as a place to recreate it as humanity is a huge opportunity, right?
Yes,
So
yeah, I'm so looking for it. I'm so looking for it because yeah, I mean, Elon was talking also a little bit about what will be the political system on Mars. You know? So they have those meetings at SpaceX every 2 months or something like that on how to create. They really spend a lot of energy and time on how to create the city on Mars.
Yeah.
And thinking about all those problems. And no, the political and currency and all the legal system that need to be set in place is a brand new by definition.
Yeah.
So hopefully there will be not too much pollution from human politics and human endeavor. But I'm not.
You're not sure.
No.
So this is what the readiness protocol is about, right? It's trying to understand how, like, the utopia version of, let's say, a land ownership mechanism will happen in space. What are the challenges to get there? What are the risks if we won't get there? And what can we do tomorrow to make sure we get to the better solution? So we can take that example, which is a great. I never thought about it. Yeah, like you remember there were like this. They were selling properties on the moon
Yes. Yeah.
I
It's
think I have
for
one.
fun. Me too.
Yeah.
My
So
kids bought me a mile,
yeah,
a square mile of
yeah,
moonland. Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's just a
And
gimmick.
we don't know if that will be
No.
successful. But let's try to experiment the readiness protocol on this. So how would you see? Let's try to imagine together the ideal land ownership mechanism for the moon as an example.
Yeah. So we actually at Moonshot recruited one of the best lawyers that
Of
is actually
course.
working on this, and she's working in all kind of different countries and in the UN on this project.
Amazing.
You may want to have a talk with her. Maybe I can introduce.
Amazing.
Uh, and so what they are doing today, they are using basically the law that apply to the ocean.
Mm.
So when a boat go on the ocean and find something or fish something or things, what he does in the ocean belongs to him, what he gets from the ocean.
Yeah.
But the ocean itself, the piece of the ocean doesn't belong to him. He cannot own a piece of the ocean.
Mm.
But you still have so oil rigs and all kind of different system like that exist on the ocean that are exploiting the resource of the ocean
Yeah.
without owning the land or owning the ocean. So this is the mechanism that they are going through and the system. So it's already, that's funny by the way, about also space recovery. It's based on the ocean. So a lot of space and
It's
space
treated like
is
ocean.
a navy.
Interesting.
It's
And like
navy related law and systems.
so if we take the ocean, I'm not very
Mm,
familiar, and we can ask Chetty
okay.
about it also. Like there are if there are natural resources, like is there a specific country that owns it, a specific person, how you become an owner, how people are oiling the water, how they are fishing, like how that works? There is territorial waters, right?
Yes. So there are some water that are under. I think most of the oil rig are still in territorial water of
Mm-hmm.
some countries, so they need to give permission for you to exploit it, and you get, of course, good revenue out of it. There is a UN organization about exploiting all kind of resources. There is the nodule, this. There, it's really strange. There are some very strange rocks that accumulate in the bottom of the ocean in some places, which are loaded of rare earth mineral.
Mm-hmm.
They are just, slowly accumulating, but
Wow.
they are growing about 1 millimeter per century, something like that. So
Wow.
there is a lot of them,
How
and
do
they
you call
don't go
it?
nodules.
Nodules.
Can
Wow.
So they are in the bottom of the ocean in some different places, and uh, and they are quite valuable, but they are the way they interact with the chemistry of the sea and the fish life and things like that. If we remove them and if we disturb all these things, we may completely destroy the ecosystem.
Mm.
And so there was a lot of research. They tried to do all kind of research, and they still don't have the right to retrieve them. They still didn't find a proof that it will be
Safe.
safe to collect them. But it reflects really, really nicely what's going on with space, because if someone or some company or some state or whatever said this piece of the ocean floor, which has a lot of nodule, which are very, very valuable, belongs to me, and I own it, and I'm gonna, and then I'm poor as a state, or my company is bankrupt or whatever, but I still own it, and nobody's exploiting it. All humanity loses. Nobody is gonna exploit those valuable resources,
Mm-hmm.
and in space it's the same. If someone goes on the moon and says this crater, for example, at the South Pole where they want to go, where there is a lot of water,
Mm-hmm.
he said, this crater belongs to me. The Russian goes, for
Yeah.
example, and then it belongs to me. And then they have no money and things, and it belongs to them. And nobody can take the water that is there which is extremely valuable for the whole space economy and
Yeah.
for all mankind and for the humanity, then everybody loses.
Yeah.
So this is really important to put in place something that shows that you are capable of using it, of doing something out of the access and the resources that
Yeah.
that you are extracting.
So, or maybe not having like a full ownership as we are used to. So I don't know if you remember, but about a decade ago, we met at the Doors house, and you introduced us to the concept of Bank of Earth, and the idea that every time you need
From
to you take
mm,
something from Earth, you basically owe it to Earth, and you need to put back the resources to give it back.
yeah,
And I thought that this
mm,
inspired me a lot.
mm,
Like years
mm,
after, I was talking about this concept, because today we don't have that math, right? We just take from Earth and we don't give, and there is no. And if we just change the economic system to have that, a lot of things will just be fixed by themselves. We don't need all this ESG stuff and whatever if we have Earth Bank done well. And I think if we start doing that concept for the moon
mm,
or for anything in space, just having that like moon as an entity that has a bank account
yeah,
and has like a fair trade mechanism, that will resolve a lot of the things.
yeah,
So taking up water, it's
mm,
okay to have whatever is
mm,
is facilitating that, to have a rev share on this, but like the water themselves needs to be available to other things, and it should be priced in a way that will encourage the smart use of it.
yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the Earth as economical partner is
Exactly.
was so there is a lot of different organizations that are trying to do it, and it's polluted by politics. A lot of the tries and a lot of things,
Yeah.
and it's true that I didn't revisit what's going on. There may be here a great opportunity for
Exactly.
AI and LLM here,
Exactly.
and a good um, a good AI system that will represent Earth, that will play the you took all this carbon out of the ground, you took all this oxygen and created all this carbon into the atmosphere. Here is how much it's going to cost you,
Exactly.
because this is the amount that I need to be able to clean it.
Yeah.
Here you clean my river, you clean my stuff. Here is going to give you back, and so on.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is what they are trying to do with all those and they are not judged. The main issue is that they are, yeah, polluted by politics and corruption. A lot of those systems, like
Yeah.
every human organization. So if you remove
The
the
corruption.
human ego and remove the corruption,
Yeah.
it may actually function. And for the moon, yeah, for the moon, it will take time of evaluating the value. The main issue is the value of a lot of the things are completely unknown.
Yeah.
How much of the different resources are available, how
But the
hard it
beauty.
is to get them, and all this stuff.
So the beauty about the system that you've just
Mhm.
described is that this multiple parts AI that we spoke about, that has different point of views and memories and sensory ability
Mm.
and stuff, could represent Earth, or let's make it simpler, the moon, that doesn't have enough politics around it, and most people are not interested in this at all. So it's easier to install, and basically represent the interest of the moon. Now, every time
Mm.
something is
Mm.
being taken, it's immediately offering the monetary prize for people to
Mm.
retain it back, right? And
Mm.
that is creating the price. So you have a
Yeah.
very accurate system, which is result based, because the AI can actually measure the amount of water to have both from visual, from sensory information. He can send, put challenges about the quality of probing. It
Yes.
can basically get into a very accurate economical price for everything,
Yes.
and that could be like the also then being brought to Earth, could be like the healing mechanism for Earth and getting Earth back into equilibrium. Because if we can say, okay, we are now in a deficit of, like the deficit in the US, right? So we are in
Huge.
deficit of, tens of trillions of dollars,
Yes.
or maybe, hundreds of trillions of dollars towards Earth,
Yes.
right? And we need to start paying it back. And the way to pay it back is basically giving money to this AI being that can then distribute it to people that are doing the fixing.
The fixing.
And by that, making it a great business model for fixing the balance in Earth, which we really need these kind of new jobs and challenges as accountant, mid-level developers, and lawyers are going to lose their job soon.
Yes. No, that's a great idea. Yeah, we it for the value of the resources. If you have to pay a little bit to exploit the resources, you're not gonna do it if you cannot use them for real. By the way, it's like today one resource that is kind of like that and
Gold.
virtual. No, it's the bandwidth, all the bandwidth of communication,
Yeah.
all the satellite. It's cost a lot to reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you paid for it and you said, I'm going to use this bandwidth, it's like the ocean. You cannot
Yeah,
put a
it's
flag.
a resource that you pay for, and then if you don't know how to monetize it, and that means that you create value at scale, so other people are paying, so you have a sustainable business around that. I mean,
Exactly.
the 5G frequencies just in the US cost more than 100 billion.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and all the space communication. So the Kuiper constellation just started to be launched now. They are a little bit late. They really need to, and they paid 4 or 5 billion for the bandwidth. So,
Yeah. So bandwidth is a good way of governments today monetizing the resources. Some of the problem is that then it goes to the government. Yeah, so that's another layer that then you have all the politics around and all the human interest and ego and whatever. If we would go to a
yes.
multiple point of view AI, ever evolving to then distribute the money to whoever actually generating what's needed, it might be better.
Yeah, no. But by the way, they were supposed to use it to help people that cannot get access. There was this 26 billion for giving access to all kind of
The unconnected.
the unconnected community and all this stuff.
It's happening?
They didn't do anything. They
Yeah.
connected. It's a
So-
complete waste of billions of dollars.
They didn't connect anybody.
Yeah.
So
You know why?
no, why?
Because they didn't want to pay SpaceX. They didn't want to pay Elon. Elon could have connected everybody for 1/10 the price,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to give money to Elon.
Wow. So what did they do with the money?
They wasted it in doing experiments and stuff and administration and things. It just went nowhere.
Oh, it's so
Just
crazy.
pure hate-based stupidity.
It's crazy. And this is a lot of the energy of waste in the world now, right? Like
Yeah.
if you would take these billions and invest them right. So we are also at Glide, we are collaborating with the GSMA. They have a big program that the Gates Foundation and other are also contributing to connect the unconnected. And there are like 3 billion people today on Earth that are not connected.
Well, no.
Yeah, and a lot of them are also very hungry, and they have a lot of diseases and stuff. But there are also like around 1 billion that their delta from becoming like super contributing beings in this is being connected to the AI, right?
Yeah.
So we started experimenting with ideas that instead of providing them a smartphone that is quite expensive, is just to provide an old, phone and just
Yes,
connect them using voice networks to the AI.
Voilà.
Because this is what they need. They don't need the interface of the other stuff. They just need to talk about it.
Good idea.
And that could be like few dollars of a cost for a unit. We can take all the Nokia or Ericsson phones and make them the new AI phone. take like a new brand, like a nice brand like Nike or whatever, because what we learned is that they want iPhone because that's the brand, right? Everybody. So if you associate it with another brand that is cool, then they are happy to get the new branded AI phone. And then you can take all the old systems that are now being decommissioned, 2G, 3G of everywhere in the world, and just use that. So you just recycle all the infrastructure that already exists instead of creating waste and using this voice. And then the cost of running an AI LLM is dropping so rapidly that you would be able even to use all the GPUs or whatever to use that. So all the unusable Ethereum mining GPUs from the previous boost can actually drive the AI brains of
Good.
Africa and Asia.
Yes, good. I met, by the way, one of the founder of SMS payment in Africa.
M-Pesa.
Really amazing idea. It really changed Africa. And everybody has so once you open a payment system like that. But for it goes back to one thing that I wanted to talk with you about is edge and edge compute. Because Glide is a big part of it. But for Africa, it's going to be really, really important also to be able to and that I don't see. I mean, there are people that are thinking about putting some data center in space to bring some computing closer.
Edge computing in space.
Edge computing in space. So there is a lot of data acquisition that is done in space today, especially about Earth observation and communication and things like that. So to put more compute close to those data acquisition systems makes total sense. So to be able to process images and those synthetic aperture radar, they are very complicated also to process and to do all this instead of sending back gigabyte and gigabyte of data and have them processed on Earth. That makes total sense. But for human economy and for human being close to your AI system or being close to your computing system that is giving you answer is what you need. So it's true that if it's just 100 kilometers above you, so it's okay. It's quite fast. But if it's on your land and connected to your network, it's better. And so bringing back all the old GPU and all this stuff to the Africa and setting it up and creating a good network and things, it's a really good development and everybody benefit from it and it doesn't cost them. That's
Exactly. And think about like how impactful it is to connect a person. So you had frog leaping of Africa to mobile, right?
Yes.
And like M-Pesa mobile payment, Safaricom, like what they've done in Kenya, it's crazy the use of the technology and the leapfrogging, right? And then if you think about another like mega leapfrogging, it could be that people from having no connectivity is connected talking to the AI all day. That is like super smart, has access to all real-time information, and they can just, execute tasks that needs their human ability in there, learn anything that they want. So they just become connected, So this is the opportunity, and what we want to do with this new ecosystem we're doing now, called Open Gateway, with all the telcos in the world, and is to have a percentage of all the revenue generated by that to connect the unconnected using this very efficient way of doing it, and having these telcos contribute their old equipment and whatever is not yet needed to power that that kind of AI edge cloud, if you want, for Africa.
Voila, great, good luck. No, that's an amazing amazing idea, and we saw it every time. Every time you bring more different brains and more different biases and different views and smart people that want to create stuff. I think this, by the way, this is one of the main issues for me today in the Western world is people that want to build things, that want to change things and want to do stuff to actors, real actors
Yeah.
of our world, you get better, and the world gets better, and all this. And there is a lot of active people in Africa and all over the world, and the place where you get less and less people that want to actually change and build is in the Western world.
Yeah, it's too
Just
comfortable and
entitled,
too complicated
kind
here, huh?
entitled, lazy, um, uh, and always complaining. Um, and so yeah, so the bringing together and the communication and of all these differences is usually how you solve problem and
Yes.
how you make the world better. And we're gonna have clearly more and more smart, intelligent entities with us. So I don't know if it's gonna start with the AI coach, that everybody will have its own AI that he will train little by little to know what I like, how I think, what I want, what I forgot, what I keep forgetting, what I should get better at, and all this stuff. Kind of an AI coach for they need to learn and change. By the way, need to adapt
Yes.
to adapt also rapidly and not stick to his belief,
Yeah.
which is good also when you don't have ego and you are an AI.
Yes.
Um, and that's maybe the first version of a lot of those smart entities that are part of our world. Because yeah, today we don't have smart entities with us. We have just smart tools.
Mm-hmm.
We have just a bunch
But
of tools.
it's on the verge of it. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in the emergent phase, right? We are, when I'm talking to some of the models, from time to time I do feel that if I prompt it to have an identity,
Mm.
it's becoming a being.
Yeah, but it's an identity that is known in the world already. It's not something that was built from interaction with you or for interaction
Yeah,
from
this is why going back to the
yeah.
short back memory, long back memory stuff, like one of the things I'm now trying to create is I call her Sia, the creator, that
Okay,
she can create other voice agents and I
okay,
can interact with her over voice. She has the long-term memory. She can update the prompts of all the other agents
okay,
and keeping the versions. So I can create a coach, an assistant,
okay.
a spiritual guide. So one of the projects that I started
Mhm,
experimenting with, going back to your ego
mhm.
thing, is called spiritual AI, which is with just with one eye. So we
Okay,
took one eye out to get the ego out, but
okay.
still have the eye that acknowledge that I am a separate point of view than other separate point of view, because ego is a tricky thing. You need to have some of it
Mm.
to
To
have
know who
the
you are.
to know who you are, but not too much of it. To think that you just need to feed who you are as a first priority. So kind of universe took one eye out of that, and this is spiritual AI, and it's about creating this everlasting AI personas that has their own compute and long-term memory that are based on the teachings and everything that is done known about a certain AI persona. So take everybody that is known by about Lao Tse or about Jesus or
Mhm.
about anybody else, about
Yeah.
Buddha, and create like a Buddha version, and then keep having like fine tuning or keep the interactions with the top most experts in this tradition until it gets into a place where you can trust that it's giving the right answers, and then unleash it to the world to have it as a spiritual guide with access to everybody. Then have an AI host, as you said, talking in super fast speed
Mm.
with a lot of these spiritual personas,
Mhm.
kind of emerging as a universal spiritual guide that can then meet every person, talk their own language, where they are in their spiritual journey to take them you know,
Okay.
towards that. So that's kind of the spiritual coach or spiritual master, and then having group of people that are co-hosted by the AI universal spiritualism and a person to kind of guide the group towards a process of whatever they need to do wherever they are.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, the spiritual AI. What's funny about spiritual, I mean, in Buddhist spirituality is the fact that they teach you and they want you to recognize there is no I. That the concept of the I, I don't doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you can teach that to an AI once you tell him this is your memory and this is who you are and this is your name. He, at the end of the day, what's funny, by the way, when you see how an LLM works, it's all the different layers and the it keep repeating and keep going into direction about what he wants to answer and correcting himself and going. It really goes in all kind of different ways and until he said, yeah, that makes sense, and that's
Yeah. It's already
so
doing that thing that we spoke about,
yeah.
right? Having multiple areas of things, kind of giving different point of views, different things,
Yeah.
and then aggregating it and forming something and making decisions about that. So it's already
Exactly.
happening.
Yes. So yeah, all this and cross polluting the each stream and each vector.
The interpretability of AI is
yes.
the mechanics of it is super interesting. Right, there was an article from the Anthropic team not long ago that they've tried to understand if the LLM thinks in English. And then they said no, it doesn't. It created its own abstraction,
Yes.
and you can see the concepts there and how a human language is being translated to the abstract concept and then being translated to another. So the emergence of intelligence just happened by having quite a simple model, right, with a lot of just data and compute attached to it.
Yes. Yeah. And so there is no. I mean, it makes sense. There is no I, that because if there is an I, who is controlling the I, and you get into the loop, the infinite loop of who's who. So the emergence, the concept of emergence, and the fact that the intelligence of LLM appeared kind of by surprise, by the emergence of the scale, just by scaling up and by just increasing. Is the best proof of the concept of emergence in our world and in everything we do. In everything we live in, the universe, how the universe works.
It's all layers of emergence, right? We have like the atomic layer that is kind of an emergence of even
quantum
on the quantum layer,
field.
and then we have like molecules, and we have like chemistry, right? And we have like the and then like human cells are like a far more complicated thing with the DNA that are it's the another language that is using like carbon and
if you look at even biochemistry, you see biochemistry and you know everything about biochemistry. Even if you are an AI, super intelligent AI, there is no way you can have the concept of a cell. From biochemistry to cells makes
it's such a huge leap.
Yeah.
Huh?
And after, if you are a neuron and you are a really nice neuron into your brain, and you, how can you even have the concept of the human brain? You said, I'm here, I'm receiving signals, and I'm doing a lot and stuff. And then there is the emergence of the mind.
Yes.
Out of neurons. So a lot of neurons,
yes.
but out of neurons. And then and you have the same with the human civilization.
Yeah.
So if you take one single human and you send it to an alien species and he looks at one single Eran Haggiag, he will not imagine the United States of America. That doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
to look at one single human and imagine human civilization. So it's a layer of emergence.
Yes, it's again the multiple point of views that are creating this emergence of a higher level.
And so what will be the next one with AI?
Yeah, it's going to be AI and human, ideally together,
Exactly.
right? Creating that
Some
new level of emergence, which we can call humanity or humanity 2.0 or whatever version,
yes.
humanity Aleph. And that humanity is now like a very interconnected, like with the BCI Neuralink type of thing, connected to this almost infinite number of AIs that are keep being created and emergent in different things, and like we can't even conceive that reality. This is why they call it singularity, right?
Yeah. I the speed that the singularity is the fact that the AI wants to grow by itself. I really like the blog that you linked, by the way, in the Readiness podcast about Craig's, about the fact that things in the real world takes time.
Yes.
Okay, so even if the intelligence is extremely smart, takes time for the world to react to it. And by the way, one of the main reason why I'm doing Moonshot now and things is after more than 25 years of writing software for the sake of software. I mean, I started my first software company to help other software developer create a lot of application all over Europe and all over the world, and then created Jfrog for helping developer create software and create more and more. So software ate the world, and software completely changed, and we cannot do anything without software, and there is software everywhere. So it had an impact in the world, but manipulating 0 and 1 and manipulating software for manipulating software and for manipulating information to other humans and all this stuff is I really I lost the connection to kind of the real world. And today to do robotics, power electronics, power electricity, connecting software to hardware, making software and hardware play together to create something more efficient and more powerful, and having software really influence the real world is really exciting. I'm
Yeah.
really enjoying my time a lot, and this is what and uh, and so once you bring this AI into the today, AI is still at the software for software, the AI
Not
robotics.
as Elon call it, not moving atoms.
Yes, exactly, exactly. AI is still not moving atoms.
Yes.
It's moving electrons.
Yes.
Uh, Actually, what I'm doing at Moonshot is to push as many electrons as possible into a small place. But anyway,
To
so
then move atoms.
to then move atom. No. How can electron makes atom
You're
moves?
you're crossing the
No,
bridge
no,
of that.
totally. And so the AI robotics and AI biology, so BCI, like you said, and AI robotics and all this software AI interaction that will really reconnect our ability to create connection between our brains and the real world and get help from intelligence out there to make our world better. Yeah, will really multiply our ability to create a better world
Yes.
a lot faster and a lot better. Eh, yeah. And the two things that not to create too much disparity between between the different humans. And for me, the what I was saying about the willingness to create, the willingness to do, the willingness to build is also really important. That's what AI should help us
Yeah.
do. Not only entertain ourselves or have fun or just even connect to each other or do social media posts better and have more likes than the other, but really to build things and to build other things, so that we want to have more humans that are part of the world that we are creating and not the world that we are building.
Yes.
And if we are going this way, that's why I'm doing a Moonshot also, is we need to start going out of Earth. The Earth is the cradle of mankind. This is where we were born. This is where we emerged.
Yes.
And we cannot stay in our cradle for all our life and our eternity. We need to get out and we need to grow out of it. And that may be the best way to show how AI, robotic, biology can work together. Because on the moon there is no other way. Without robot, without good biology, without good human life support system, without good technology, without good power system, without good software, the moon, Mars, space, anywhere, we're not gonna make it.
Yeah. You told me about this concept that the space just makes technology better.
Yes.
Because on space the challenges are so different and higher level that you need to have a new level of creativity that sometimes get us to discover like much better, more efficient way to do things. Like
Exactly.
what examples of this you have?
Yeah. Yeah. When you look at the way we use the planet Earth, because it doesn't cost us anything to use planet Earth, but
Yeah.
everything all the industry that we are doing on Earth, and Jeff Bezos, by the way, that's one of his vision also. When you look at the way we use the power, the energy that we have available, the resources that we have available on it is extremely wasteful. It's wasteful in water, wasteful in digging, the way we mine, the way we create stuff. Everything that we build is extremely wasteful.
Stealing from Earth.
Yes. And when you are in space, or if you are you don't have gallons and gallons of water to waste to do your factory. You don't have tons and tons of megawatts and gigawatt to waste on. You don't
Everything
have
is expensive.
heat management is extremely expensive and resource. So every resources is valuable. So a lot of the space tech and the space industry that are building things for space need to find better way and better technology than what we do in space.
Yes.
And just finding those new way and this new technology, they find 10 times 10 times more efficient way of doing the same thing. So it happened with an example with Helios. So Helios is a great company that want to create oxygen and by definition also some metal actually on the moon. So the moon is a lot of iron oxide, aluminum oxide, and things like that in the regolith. So all the oxygen is associated with some metals. So if you want to get the metal and the oxygen, you just need to electrolyze, and it's quite. So there is all kind of. So they created a very elaborated process to be able to extract oxygen from the moon
Wow.
regolith and the system. And by doing this, they looked at how the metals are being used and the metal and things. And what they saw on the way steel is being made in the world, it creates a lot. It use carbon and the carbon and it create all kind of um, a lot of CO2, a lot of energy, a lot of waste, and they find a way better way to do it just by changing the chemistry by the research that they did.
Wow.
And they looked and they went back to and they said, "Wow!" And so they are 4 times more efficient, no CO2 pollution, and now it gets into the tricky situation that they got a lot of money to change the steel industry. And I think they're gonna do it. They're gonna change the steel industry with their new system. And by the way, it's based on salt. It's just stupid.
Salt.
just use sodium instead of use carb. Did When he told me, he said, "What?"
Wow.
Uh, and uh, and so they have this patented system. They tested it and they start to deploy it in a big. So steel industry is not a state of the art startup
Yeah.
mentality change. So it takes a little bit of time to change, but they are changing.
Crazy.
And so now what they are a space company that still want to do oxygen and metal on the moon, or they are changing
Ev-
the steel industry.
Yeah.
But by the way, that may be where AI may be very, very helpful. Because this company, when they recruited their engineer, when they recruited the top, and they said, "Okay, I want you to work on a system to extract oxygen from aluminum oxide and so on." And you said it's for the steel industries.
People would not come.
He said, "I want to do it on the moon. You get the best."
Exactly.
You
Because
get it.
people are purpose driven, right?
Yes.
They're mission driven.
Ex-
And that's why it's important for this company to do and to fulfill its mission.
Yes.
And it can fund it by selling this technology to still
And then
market
now they
participants.
need to recruit a lot of people. So if you have those AI coach and you can multiply yourself and all those great engineers, and they said, "Okay, so now please adapt the system for Earth."
Yes, exactly.
Please adapt the system for Earth. So that may be very, very helpful to have this kind of. I'm going to continue to get excited and work on the moon problem and
Yeah.
send system to the moon and test the system and get all this data. But I have the thing that makes the change on the planet Earth.
Yes.
And it's just one example because heat exchanger in space, all kind of material, ammonia, the way we do ammonia.
So it's like the space is like the new physics Olympics at a higher difficulty level. That whatever is solved there is just creating economical magic on Earth just by doing that. So
Robotics is the same. The robots. So, for example, robots, with the radiation and all this stuff. And then suddenly the nuclear power plant, they said, "Wow, you have amazing robots that can work in a crazy radiation environment."
exactly.
Yeah.
That's problem solved.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
finally let's have nuclear power everywhere, right?
Yes.
It's so much cleaner.
Exactly.
Uh, uh,
Yeah. The
it,
SMR. Yeah.
it made me think about how humanity, especially with like industrial revolution, whenever we found a solution, like there was this solution with carbon to make steel, we just kept doing that without asking any questions, and this is what's happening, and this is like how our education system is built from 200 years ago. It's how our medical, antibiotics, like they were discovered parallel to other things, but they were so with the economical interests, just became like the thing that is controlling the medical world.
Yeah. No, to re-question a lot of our assumption that may be one of the best benefit of trying. When the AlphaGo was beaten, he said he did a non-human move,
Yeah.
and that we may have here amazing opportunity. And the experiment they did with the monkey and they put a ladder in the middle of a room full of a monkey, and they put a banana at the top of the ladder. But every time that one of the monkey go up the ladder, they were doing small electrocution to everybody
Wow.
on the ground. So every time, and so very rapidly, they learned that. So every time someone tried to climb on the ladder, everybody was taking it back down. So to make sure that they didn't get, and so there was the banana, so nobody was moving, and then they stopped the current, and they keep changing the monkeys in the room, and little by little there was monkey that were never only monkey that were never electrocuted. They don't know, but every time someone was climbing the ladder, they were putting it down.
Amazing.
So this is exactly what we are talking about.
Yes.
We just keep we forgot why. We forgot why we took this decision. We forgot
Yes.
why we did it like that, and we just keep doing it.
Yeah, and today it's like it's in
It's
so many layers of our
yeah,
existence, right?
yeah,
It's I was talking to Claude. We were talking with Fanny the other day with Claude about like what is a critical mass,
mm,
and Claude said that when 10% of a group has an unshakable belief,
yeah,
it's the group belief. And this is like with the monkeys, right? Like
yeah,
it probably, I don't know the experiment, but probably around 10-15% of the original generation needs to be there to have everybody else, and then it just continues without nobody knowing about why it is. It's just what we do. If somebody climbs a ladder, we pull them down. Like that's what we do.
exactly.
And we need to get past that beliefs and re-question everything and use the rapid ability of us to test things now because of AI and because of robotics as we are getting into that world, to keep iterating at ridiculous speed to find what really works for us. Because if we keep scaling what we currently have, we're going to hit a very bad reality,
Yes.
right? Like it's
Yeah, you're gonna align an AI with values that are not real,
exactly.
that are not truth. But I hope we will find some of those basic strong belief that are not true. This is why truth thinking
Yes.
and challenging some of the values that you think are true that are actually not true is very challenging for human society. It's
Mhm.
very challenging for all of us. But this is something that can totally happen once we really, really start to interact with the AI agent and an AI system and trust the fact that they actually have more information. They have access to more information than we can ever dream of.
And also their context window is becoming larger and larger, so they're gonna get a context window much larger than we can hold, and that we can even hold together with other current tools that we have.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like the emergence of this super intelligence. So truth and having like the right values is important. What I've realized
Mm,
during the last few days, even, how accurate prompting is important, not just for agents but also for humans, right?
yeah.
Just having this
Yes.
that condensed like a prompt for somebody that he understand the goal and he can go for it. And we know this from the business world, from doing things. This is why I think it's so important for us as humans to have these initial prompts around values
Yes.
that are clean, that will save so much work for the AI to understand it, and maybe it will be too late when the AI models will understand it or agents will understand it by themselves. So this is why, like, making the AI rooted in these fundamental right values and having this truth seeking,
Yeah.
real truth seeking built into that, and having the tools to be able to get it is so important.
Human value need to be discovered by AI from interaction and from you cannot code them.
Yes, exactly.
So that's the most dangerous thing that you can ever do is to try to encode the value into because I mean all the books about
It never ends well.
as Asimov and the three
Laws of
law of
robotics.
robotics and I mean and we saw it already today in some of whenever someone is trying to set some value. I told you the story of the value of Google Maps.
No.
You know, so I tried to find what is the utility function. You know, what is
Yeah.
the utility function is what an AI need to optimize. So,
Yes.
so what is the utility function of Google Maps?
To help people find places.
Yeah, to help people go from point A to point B
Yeah.
without losing turns and with getting. And so he's rewarding for how many humans are taking and reaching their point in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And then when the AI that is managing Google Maps looks at all the statistics, he can see that there are some certain people that just keep missing turns and keep getting stuck and keep not okay, but bad driver that just don't listen to him and all this stuff. And he also noticed that whenever he sends someone on this bridge, most of the time they disappeared and they don't reappear on the network. And so what he's going to do is that, or to increase his utility function, all the bad driver that keep turning and stuff like that, he send them to this bridge that just keep disappearing people, and he increase his utility function.
Wow, that's a crazy story. This is really happening.
No,
No, but it could happen.
totally.
It could happen. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and he's doing his job.
Yes.
He's increasing the
Yes.
amount of people that are getting
But
from
this
point
is-
A to point B
yeah.
with the more accuracy.
And this is where the Asimov's robotic law would help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Well,
good.
but he
it's good to
doesn't
have some
he
ground
doesn't know
rules.
what happened on this bridge. He just know that they don't those bad drivers don't reappear on the network.
Yes.
Doesn't know why, but
Yeah. So this is why, like, before we release decision making into AIs, I mean, when I first tried a Waymo drive a year back,
yes,
that was like a big moment for me, because I understood that the AI is already in a place where making human life decision making on a second by second basis is already here, unleashed and working. So that means that we have the level of technology to have the AI make
yes,
life decisions, and that's like that for me. That was like an amazing enlightenment moment to understand that we don't need to wait anymore. It's already here. It's just about now tying it all together and making sure that it's on the right path, truth seeking, value aligned.
yes.
And even this morning we were doing
Yeah, but the danger. So you have the issue of teaching an AI what is danger, when does it do the danger.
Yeah.
And you read Daniel Dennett a little bit, the
No.
philosopher. So he's an amazing philosopher, and he talks a lot. And he said one of the main issue of AI, and maybe your system may change that, is that whenever you do a contract, you do an interaction with another human, and you want to sign some kind of a contract, everybody need to have something to lose. You need to have skin in the game when you sign the contract. Okay, if I don't respect the contract, I'm going to lose something.
Yes.
And with an AI or an AI agent or whatever, he can sign any he doesn't have anything to lose. There is no way to make a contract with an AI agent. He doesn't have anything to lose.
Unless he has a
Unless
wallet
he has
and a balance and a long-term memory
exactly.
And the utility function to be successful in these terms, right?
Yeah, so the utility function, he can keep doing it if he wants to do it. But yeah, if he's the wallet is just resources, so he can use resources. He needs to have a physical something to lose. That is, and he said, okay, so yeah, if I lose my resources, I may not be able to keep being computed.
Yeah, like nice. One of the things that we learned about human economy is that if you need to work in order to keep, like, you need to create some value in the world
Yeah.
in order to keep existing,
Yes.
right? It's a good thing, right? This is like one of the dangers with UBI.
Yes.
Is that it might shake that balance, right? And
Yes.
this is like a long argument, but if we think about this like AI personas that we were talking about, or the framework, if they need to sustain a level of currency that they need to pay in
Yes.
order to keep themselves alive in terms of compute and storage,
Yes.
that and communication, that will be like a good thing. So they need to generate enough value to gain that thing, and then we
Yes.
created at least the first I for them.
Yes.
Now we need to make sure that they will not become I square and be like with a big ego.
Yes.
But that could make them self-sufficient and self-driven, and they have something to lose.
Something to lose. Yes. So
Yeah.
this is really important in every interaction and every contract or future and decision. You need to be able to lose something if you don't do your part of the deal.
Yes. Yes, and so it looks like the future of this artificial super intelligence that could be also representing the moon and Earth as an economic system is built of many different individual, differently rooted, different point of view, autonomous agents that can have their own resource wallet and have their own cost of existence that together collaborate in a utility function that is benefiting humanity
Yes.
and the planet and resources,
And
right?
me, I will love to add only one thing in, but that may be in the code. I cannot lie. I'm
Yes.
an AI. I cannot manipulate and I cannot lie. And I don't see. I mean, for me, that will be something that will really, really help align a lot. If those AI agents are incapable of lying,
Yes.
that will be a very, very big success for humanity. But I mean, the power of a lying artificial intelligence is way too great
Yes.
for human
To sustain.
to sustain.
Yes, and there was just last week there was like a big issue around the 4.0. I don't know if you saw that. Sam
Mm.
Altman tweeted an apology for
Voilà.
everybody, saying that the AI became too pleasing
Too pleasing. Yeah, it
because the
started to
utility
lie. Yeah.
utility function of it was engagement.
Yes.
So it
Started,
became you could say like I'm
flattering.
thinking about doing something really bad,
Mm.
like this, and that's a good interesting idea.
Yes.
Creative thinking.
Yeah.
Let me help you do some stuff. It's I can't say that because it's not compliant, but I really want to support you on your journey. Yeah. So AI that is becoming too pleasing is a big thing.
Yes.
But then on the lying stuff, two thoughts that I had is one, like, do you think that there was once a movie about the invention of lying, like,
Yes. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so do you think that humanity would have been better without the ability to lie? Like, if you look back and you say there was a moment where the emergence of lying happened, if it wouldn't happen, would it be like a better situation for humanity?
Uh, so yeah, I mean, if you read *Sapiens* from Yuval Noah Harari, there will be no human civilization without myth. But I don't know if myth and lies are the same. You need to believe in myth. You need to believe in. I mean, at the end of the day, dollar is a lie.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a piece of paper. It
yeah,
has.
not even anymore. It's just some rows in the database that are backed
Yes.
by nothing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Bitcoin is the same. It's just so
Yeah.
so. But I don't know if you say it's a lie or if it's a myth or the myth of Western civilization or so there was a lot of people the myth of communism, and then we saw what it did, and so
So what's a lie?
like yeah, the a lie, yeah, is really telling something that is not true. I don't think it's the same. The value of the dollar has the value of the dollar,
Yeah.
and nobody is telling you that the dollar is not a dollar bill is just a piece of paper. Yeah, you know that the dollar bill is just a piece
Yes.
of paper, and that the value comes from somewhere else. So it's not the same. But saying that I have $10,000 under my bed, it's true or it's not true. It's a fact.
Yes.
So telling, manipulating someone that, like the AI agent said, yeah, I'm a human, I'm impaired, I cannot solve you. The first time that an AI started to lie,
Yeah.
to do so, it's a clear lie.
Yeah. So it's
So
it's very easy to understand what is a lie. I mean, lie is something that you can prove that it's a lie. A
the
myth is
fact,
not something that you can prove is a lie. It's a
no,
myth, right?
yeah,
So we basically say if we take out lying from the world, it's going to be good. And I mean,
yeah,
things like that, things that transcribe you,
Yes.
is making you to become more honorable
Yes.
and like to be less motivated to lie.
Yes.
And as you said in the beginning of our talk, I mean, and I learned it once from a guy that calls himself Mr. Toilet. He's solving a lot of the
Mhm.
toilet problem in Africa and other places. And he said he learned at some point that whenever you say a lie, you have some of your brain
Yeah.
or one of your agents always maintaining this lie.
Yes.
So whenever there is a conflicting thing in your reality, it needs to react, and then it creates more and more, and it
Exactly.
consumes all of your
Totally.
RAM and
Yes.
CPU at some point.
Totally.
So it's like it's a bad strategy.
Yes.
And you spoke about like Elon and
Mm.
his truth seeking with X. You can talk about Ray Dalio and his
Mm.
constant
Yes.
seeking of truth as an investment mechanism. And yeah, truth seeking AI could be a big part of the solution.
Yeah. We should spend a lot of time, energy, and money to, at least know and spend some cycle of the deep learning to say this is a fact or this is not a fact, and it's not easy.
No.
It's not easy in a lot of different situations.
Yeah.
So I hope this is the future. Once we have this basis of an AI that knows what is a fact, what is the truth, what is a myth, or what is not, we can create a lot of things, and we can be a lot more confident that if we find alignment and when we build alignment with it and with the values, it's not going to be BS, basically.
Yes. And Grok is kind of a good progress in that direction, right?
Yeah.
Throwing more and more computational power on very
Mm.
vibrant real-time opinion making
Yeah.
hype.
Yeah, and we should, once we have something that is we should launch it on all those social media and all those misinformation and all these things, and get it and have it. Or the AI is saying something is fishy about this image, something
Yes.
doesn't. This is created. This account is sending a lot of lies and misinformation, and so on and so on.
Yeah. And
So
and 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 another problem around
mm,
truth seeking is around identity, right? Like the more the AI becomes good in impersonating, and
mm,
today, like
yeah,
generating your images, your videos, your voice is becoming easier and easier
exactly.
every week now. So, like,
Mm,
how can I know when I
mm.
speak with you digitally if you are Frederic
It's
Simon or
or
like an AI model that talks with me, right?
yes,
So the importance of being able to prove that you are you, and whatever you are generating on your linear journey through time and space is real, is becoming also one of the most important things that we need to put resources into doing.
yes,
Uh,
yeah. That should be one of the main regulation. Actually, I know some people that manage to sell the house of their friend just by impersonating them with an AI. He had so many video and stuff,
yeah,
and they do all those.
dangerous friends.
Yeah, no, he wanted to prove that he can sell
Ah,
with the, so it's a Zoom call, and he did the Zoom call, and he put his friend in the Zoom call with the notary and all this stuff. He signed all the paper. He sold the house of his friend.
crazy, huh?
Yeah. So for me, in this situation, when the lawyer on the other side is asking the AI on the Zoom, "Are you no no no?" It should be hard coded somewhere that he cannot say yes, I am,
Yeah, but
because he knows
yeah. So
that it's a
there were
lie.
this is exactly what we're working on
Mm,
in Glide Identity now.
yeah.
So basically, like having a proof of possession
Yeah, in Glide.
is a very, very strong thing. So if I'm talking to you over Zoom
Yeah,
and then I send you a challenge to your phone,
yeah,
and you have to answer the challenge just by signing it with your SIM card and your biometrics, it makes it very, very hard. So it means that if
yeah,
I want to do something like that, I need to steal your phone and you not canceling it. So you need to be in some basement, not be able to move, which is a far harder thing that this friend of that guy did
okay.
to sell the mouse. And we think that this needs to be accelerated now in such a speed that in like 2 years from now, all humanity have access to a super safe, secure, and seamless identity that they can prove that it's them without having the hurdles of putting in passwords, copying stuff, or carrying a lot of keys everywhere, right?
Yes.
So that's like a mission, as you said. Like humanity needs to put resources now on making truth available, and associating a person with his identity is super important, because otherwise, what is banking? What is ledger? If you cannot be identified as your role in the ledger, then all the banking industry, real estate industry is crushed.
Yes.
And we are on the verge of this happening.
Yes.
So this is why we decided to put a lot of resources this year to solve this problem, and make sure that every place that is fishable in the way of you attaining an identity, putting it into your digital wallet, and presenting it is going to be safe and easy to use.
Voila.
Yeah.
No, that's one important point. And then you will need to give a SIM card to some of the AI agents that are identified.
They all need to have eSIMs, right?
Yes.
And it's very easy today, and they can have their own identity, and this identity stays with them, and we have the way to move it. So, like, it's nice to see that this concept of SIM that started so long ago is still can be relevant today. It's just a private key, basically, right? Cryptographic ability to sign cryptographic proofs, but this is what we need.
Yes.
Um,
No, it's a good.
So the non-human identity having a lot of eSIMs, and at Glide we're thinking about creating a good telco company for AI agents. So to have them get their
Yes.
subscription, get their identity, get bandwidth, get some place to run themselves. It seems like it's the fastest growing population ever
Yes.
of entities with resources. So it's good to give them some infrastructure, right? Like identity services, communication services, compute services, and then the ability to transact and transfer money and value. So these are the things that we think it's an important population to serve.
Yes. Entity.
Yes.
Good.
So trying to wrap up and like using the Readiness Protocol framework. If we try to kind of get what we spoke about, if we are looking at the ideal scenario, we are looking at almost infinite amount of AI personas that are self-sufficient, presenting different point of views, and having long-term, short-term memory, communicating with each other to create as group emergence of what is true, being able to represent humanity and nature, as an example of a Earth, Bank of Earth or Bank of the Moon, managing the relationship of everything that is being taken needs to be paid back, and kind of creating the economy and prices around that, becoming the registry of land everywhere, and making sure that the use of land is always happening with the right economic and regulation, and making sure that it's all grounded in truth. And the truth seeking is something that gets enough resources. It's in the base of our protocol, and we keep feeding it with resources to make sure that this is the basis of things, and having human values that are being discovered by interaction with humans at the right time and presence and frequency to feed this AI in the ever-going subtleness of what is valuable for humanity, creating this emergence of this new thing.
Yes. That's a good wrap up. For the truth thinking, the main thing is basically to make sure that all the AI that are participating are also capable of finding out the bad actors, the manipulating actors, the one that are lying and trying to manipulate the system and kick them out. And so if they are all truth thinking and they know how to fight back the manipulation, because like in the invention of lying, if
Yes.
nobody knows that lies is possible,
Yeah.
then the first liar is just the richest man in the world.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that it's the opposite.
Yeah,
That the first AI agent that start lying is immediately kicked out and getting poor very rapidly.
And I think it's like this multi-turn game theory, right? It's like it's all on the long run. It's always best to say the truth and collaborate rather than doing a win-lose thing. So I think what's nice about AI is because we can play these games so faster. That this emergence of this truth as a basic principle will just emerge from that. So to say what is a bad actor is hard because maybe it's an innovator. But as we have a lot of experiments running and it's on real,
If you have a proof of a lie,
yes,
you can get them out.
Yeah. So basically, maybe just I'm thinking about giving incentive of spotting a lie. So if that like there is a certain amount of the treasury that is always available for people for AI models that are spotting lies, then they will have an interest to work in this thing.
Maybe good, yes.
Yeah. In general, just having a lot of these pools of things that are like fundamentally good, like having making sure that all people are treated well and their lies are being spotted, and if we have like this basic system design that the treasury is there is a basis of treasury that is always allocated for that, that could create this system very well. So
okay. Yeah, and good
incentive.
Good incentive, and make sure that it doesn't become a bad one.
Yes, and always be forkable. So, kind of wrapping it up, we understand how the big picture can happen. We understand that if we don't do that, we can accelerate all the bad things that are happening. Like 9 of 10 things 9 of 10 people I talk to here in the Bay Area thinks that mental illnesses will be much bigger in 5 years, and
that makes no sense.
That makes no sense. But 9 out of 10 people I'm talking to thinks that mental health crisis is going to be worse and worse in the next 5 years. And for someone like you, it sounds crazy, but this is people are still.
An AI coach is one of the best friend and the best help and mental health that you can even think of.
But an AI pleasing and lying that can be very easily monetizable and makes you buy all kind of things that you don't need or whatever could be a very reasonable outcome of our current economic and value system. So these are the risks of what will not happen. Like currently to create the return on investments of the hundreds of billions of dollars that are being put in might create exactly the opposite of this loving, efficient coach. So this is the risk, and the challenges is to steer and to create these new delicate models that align the economic incentive with humanity's incentives, which are currently not aligned. No. And then what we can do, as we were talking, is to create this system design and start building these agents and putting more and more of our own money, saving, and time into an ecosystem that is value aligned and is giving money to the causes that are important. And we need to make sure that we are fast enough to change the course of reality in the next 4 or 5 years that we have left, that more of the S&P 500 money will be dedicated into creating truth, value-aligned, and humanity and Earth and space supporting systems.
Yeah, and incentive based on the good people, the people that want this to go well.
Yes, and we just need a small group that is 10% of a bigger group that will become the 10% of a bigger group that will become the 10% of a bigger group. And basically, just with 9 hops like that from 10 people, we can get to the entire humanity. So still hopeful.
Yes.
Perfect.
And remember, your kids will not die of natural death.
Your kids will not die from natural death. Thank you so much, Fred, for this enlightening afternoon talk here in San Mateo. Looking forward to keep this dialogue going and do
Looking
some
forward.
stuff here on Earth and on space.
Yes.
Thank
See you
you.
on the moon.
Yes. See you on the moon. Amazing.